Happy Sunday, everybody. This is Zach Said It Again. I'm your host, Zach Cooley, and I'm honored to be chosen to spotlight as part of a monthly project through 2023 each department of the Wythe County Technology Center. And today, we are talking to Mr. Danny Suthers. Danny, thank you so much for being on the podcast with me today.
Thank you, Zach. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. It's very nice to have you. Can you tell me what your department is and what it consists of as far as what your students, the basics of what your students will learn?
What I teach is in building trades is the four aspects of it. I've got carpentry, plumbing, electrical, and masonry. And the students will learn that each over a 2-year period. They'll learn all those skills.
And boy, do we need those in the business today. Now, Your department, I believe, because I live in an old house that's more than 100 years old, and they say when you own a house that it's constantly something. You constantly need a plumber, you constantly need a carpenter, you constantly need an electrician.
Yes.
Insect inspector. I mean, there's always, exterminators. There's always something that you need when you own a house.
Yeah, that's one of my selling points when I do have kids come to visit the class is, one day you will live in a house, and this skill of being able to change a light fixture or fix your toilet from leaking or a leaky faucet or, be able to build something or repair something. You might want to build a deck outside, and you could do that. Or you might want to build a fire pit or something where you can grill out, and you can be able to build that, with the masonry part of it.
And to be able to be physically able to do those types of trades is something not to be taken for granted, because I own my own home and I'm disabled. I'm wheelchair bound, so I can't even do anything as simple as change light fixtures. So I would need to call someone in to do those things for me. And what I have found is that most contractors, you can't even get them to return a phone call. They do kind of the big jobs for the town or whatever, the $50,000 jobs, and they don't want to call back for the small jobs. So I think...
No, it's... being a handyman is... you could make a lot of money being a handyman. And doing small jobs, you could probably make as much as a regular contractor if you do good work. And because that's all I hear is people needing small jobs done, but nobody's willing to do it. They just want to tackle the big jobs.
And you bet. And sometimes I wonder how these contractors make any money if they don't even return a phone call. So these people to do these small jobs for people like me are very valuable and very needed.
Oh, yes.
So,
but you got to watch and get the right person. You got people out here that say they're handyman, but really don't know how to wire a 3-way or a 4-way switch, or be able to fix the plumbing right or use the right fixtures. I know in electrical, you can't just put any breaker in. You have to put the right breaker for the right size wire and everything like that.
And we've been hoodwinked by some of those just out of desperation. Yeah. When I had a handicap shower built in, I thought I would never get that right, because you could never get anybody to return a call. If you did, somebody went in and my parents poured money into this guy, who ended up in jail, thank God, but poured money into this guy who did the job halfway or messed it up worse than it was before we started, and finally was able to refinance my home through USDA and was able to get it done properly. But it is so difficult to find good help. So I'm hoping that your students, for the most part, have honesty and integrity in them, because that is a key part of what is needed today.
Well, that's what I try to instill in them. I mean, I try to instill in them that, you know, what you do is represents you. I mean, it represents your character. You know, if you're going to do it halfway, then that shows what your character is like. If you don't want to do it right, then, you know, later on down the road, that's what you're going to do all the time, is do something halfway and not do it right.
Mm-hmm. So
it takes just as much time to do something wrong as it does to do it right.
So how long have you been the instructor for this particular program? And how did you come to be the instructor of this program?
Well, I got started in a building maintenance program here for special needs students to teach them a skill. And then the regular building trades teacher, he retired.
Mm-hmm.
So, say, there you go, you got the job.
Very good. And what year was this?
It was probably 12 years ago, maybe.
Okay, great. Now, when you're talking about special needs students, are you talking about the IDC, or was this something within the technology center that you were doing?
This is something inside the technology center we were doing. You know, you got some Project Mary kids, you know, kids with 504, I think that's right, 504s, and IEPs, and, you know, we try to, you know, teach them a skill where they can get out and make money on their own and be productive.
Well, that is wonderful that you've worked with the disabled community. So you know, you know a little bit about what my struggles have been. I was fortunate enough that I did not have any mental any problems with my mental faculties or anything like that. It's still just as difficult, despite that, to become a marketable employee. So
yes, it is.
So I'm glad that I had an IEP. Should have probably had a 504, but I had an IEP for an orthopedic impairment, and so it probably should have been more along the lines of a 504. But it's great to know that you were doing that. And how long were you involved in that particular program?
I think it was I was involved in that in 3 years. I was hired to replace the masonry teacher, and eventually that phased out. You couldn't, you know, kids don't want to, you know, come in and lay brick all day for 2.5 hours a day, every day, all year. So I mean, there's only so many ways you can lay a brick. I mean, you can, you know, build arches and, you know, columns.
Sure.
And composite walls. And so that sort of phased out, didn't have the students, and we got into building maintenance. And, you know, it took off from there, and I was able to teach kids, you know, simple wiring, plumbing, you know, a little bit of masonry, or laying some tile, you know, cleaning and stuff like that for, you know, the building maintenance program. And then, like I say, the building trades instructor retired, you know, so I teach all 4 trades now.
In sort of one thing.
Yeah, I do. I sort of, you know, it's a 2-year class, really. It's all year, but it's 2 years. So I break it up in the first year. I sort of concentrate on carpentry and masonry, and then the next year, the second year students get a big dose of plumbing and electricity. I mean, we actually got a mock-up of a house of, receptacles on a board where we have to run the wire into the meter base and then the wire from there into the panel box and then all throughout the house and, wire a bedroom and a kitchen and your bathrooms and everything with your GFCIs, your 4-way switches, 3-way switches. We do it all.
Have you found that the students you've taught over the years have been engaged in their work for the most part with that code of honesty, we hope?
Yeah, I think some of them have. I mean, I've got several out there that are in the workforce. There's several. I know there's at least one working for Barney, and I'm not sure. I can't keep up with everybody, but they've gone out and they're doing well. I mean, some of the ones that took the class, I see most of them are doing well out in the real world now. They didn't go up into construction or anything, but they're being model citizens.
Yeah, so that must make you proud as an instructor to know that you've been able to pass on something that have helped better their lives.
Yes, I keep in touch with several of them and over the years, and we talk, and they said, "Well, I'm glad I took your class, and it's really helped me," and all that good stuff.
What did you learn? And I'm supposed to be talking about your current position, but coming from the disabled background as I do, I must ask this: what did you learn most from the people that you taught within the disabled realm?
Well, I didn't try to force, just mainstream, you're going to wire this, you're going to do this. I let them work on their own pace. Mm-hmm. And I gave them stuff that they could do without being, real confused or complicated, where they could understand it and give them things that they can do.
And I'm sure that some of those students ended up being very valuable workers.
Yeah, there's several. They're working in the food industry. Some of them are, they're stocking shelves and cleaning, but a lot of the others are out there. I think one guy, he's one of my former students. He's actually he works for a roofing company doing estimates for the company now. And he's gone out now. He's making pretty good money doing that. And I've got one that's in the lineman class through WCC, taking that. I think he's 2 years out of high school, and he's going to make well over $100,000 this year or last year. I think he did, working for the power company.
Well, that must make you proud.
Oh, it does.
Now you are, if I'm correct, you're a lifelong citizen of Wytheville and/or Wythe County.
Yes. I went to school at George Wythe. Mm-hmm. Went to Spiller. Went to Scott. Went to George Wythe. Graduated. 1 year of college and came back home.
So you can attest to the value of Wythe County schools and the teachers and the programs that we have.
Yes.
I came through them myself, and I'm very grateful for many people. And your boss, Ms. Summerstone, is one that you could not have a better boss, a better champion for the programs and the things that you are trying to do. How many years altogether have you been with the Wythe County Technology Center?
I think I've been with the Technology Center maybe 15 or 16 years, but I started off for the county as a mechanic at the bus shop.
Oh, wow.
I worked there for 9 years, and then I went back to school and got into building maintenance, and then from there, it's pretty much history there, I guess.
Right, and you have a family, correct?
Oh yes, I got three children. My youngest is living in Germany and working, following his dream of being a golf course superintendent in Germany.
Wow.
He married a young woman from Germany and met her in Australia. So I mean, he's quite the world traveler.
Absolutely.
And then my middle son, he's working at Somic and doing very well there. And my oldest, my daughter, she is working as a physical therapist assistant in Mount Airy and doing very well there too.
Fantastic.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's wonderful. Can you tell me, every other department that I have highlighted offers certain certifications that help them in the working world, and I'm sure that you offer the same. Can you tell me what kind of certifications, what kind of things that the Technology Center offers that will aid them in the working world or help them get ahead in the working world?
Well, first of all, we start off with the OSHA, the safety program there. All students have to go through
Right.
OSHA 10 certification. They get that very first year starting off. And then we go to a NOCDI test of safety
Right.
through for a credential. They're not looking at OSHA as a credential, but that's a good thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second year does the ICC, was the International Code Council, and they do residential codes, building codes for electrical, plumbing, and construction. They can earn a certification in that as well, and that's state recognized.
Sure. Okay.
It's nice to know the code if you're building something. You just can't throw something up and okay, there it is. There's codes that you have to follow to make sure you got the right fasteners and everything to do that.
Have to have the guidelines to make sure you're doing it right.
Correct.
And do you have for your students opportunities for them to go out in the working world while they're in your class and do any kind of hands-on work for compensation or anything like that?
I think there is an apprentice program for this, but we haven't really got into that yet. But for liability purposes, we can't really get students out on a work site or out doing that. I mean, they can do it during the summer if they want, but we can't really do that here.
Understood. In some departments, they have competitions, like the cosmetology has hairstyling competitions. Do you have anything like that where they can showcase their skills?
Yes, actually we do. We got the Skills USA competition. We do. I try to get students in some cabinet making. We got teamwork, so it's a 4-person team where they have to do carpentry, plumbing, masonry, and electricity. And we actually competed in that this past weekend and got second place in the state of Virginia.
Oh, wonderful.
Four good young men that competed in that, and they're actually juniors, some of my first-year kids. So we're really looking forward to next year and maybe taking another step to go to nationals.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. And if that happens, be sure to let me know. I'd like to cover that for you.
I will. I will, for sure.
And congratulations to those students.
Yeah. What you don't understand is being second in the state of Virginia means there's no classifications like, single A, double A, triple A.
Right. That's the whole.
There's only 4 other students in the whole state of Virginia that can do what you can do.
Right. Right, and that's in the entire state of Virginia, which has, 10 million people. So that is a huge accomplishment and huge honor, and congratulations to you and your students. Now,
thank you.
How many students do you have currently?
I've got around 27 students right now. I've got 16 in the morning and 9 in the afternoon. So that's 25 students, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 total. Do you find that a lot of them, when they do the first year, do you find that most of them return to do the second year?
Some do, and then they've got new courses for second year students, like the maintenance program for the, I think it's for the factories, where I can't remember what that's called, but anyway, they get into that. That's a year-long program there, so the electrical they learn here actually goes toward that and helps them out for that.
Is it for the machinist, the MC?
Yeah, machine maintenance.
Yeah,
that's a year-long program that they usually take second-year students. So I know I've got at least one from the morning. My morning kids is going to be in that next year.
See, last month I talked with Mr. Shane Crockett, the young fella who's doing the precision machine, and
yes.
There's a lot of similarities from his program to yours, it would seem.
Yeah, well, he's working with metal and I'm working with wood, so yeah.
Okay, I see. I mean,
he makes things out of metal, and we make things out of wood.
Very good.
I think I'm working on some picture frames for Spiller right now, and I'm also working on the pickets for Adrian Park.
Oh, fantastic! So you are able to do. If somebody calls and says we need help with this, you can help them.
Yeah, we try to do as much as we can.
Okay. I will certainly remember that.
Okay.
I will certainly remember that. Is there anything else about your program that I have not covered that you want to talk about?
I mean, we've got a lot of good things going on here at the Technology Center. Students need to realize that you don't have to go to 4 years of college. I'm
glad you brought that up, because that's an important thing to note with each of these departments, is that collegiate work is not necessarily required for you to have a successful career in many of these departments, and I'm sure that's true of yours.
Yeah, I mean, some of these kids can go out and get it's a 2-year course at the WCC and the Crossroads, and they will, they'll learn, go on and be a journeyman electrician, or get into carpentry or plumbing or HVAC, where they go into more depth there. And I just give them, the basics. And, we built some sheds, and we built like this. We got a lean-to shed we built back here for storage behind the school.
Mm-hmm.
Our class did that. I mean, we've done several things around the county for people. I think we put the fort down at Fort Chisel. We went down there and poured that one day.
Very good.
And we've built a ticket stand for a rural retreat. We've done several things for George Wythe. We've done several things here in the school. I mean, we built a handicap ramp over here at the cannery, so where people can get in, or you can push carts up the ramp over here.
Well, that couldn't be more appreciated from anyone more so than me, who needs them everywhere I go. So that is fantastic. What sort of projects are your students currently working on? Anything in particular?
Right now, like I say, we're working on a couple of sheds. We're working on a couple of 8x8 sheds that we're building. We're going to sell, and hopefully we can get at least $1,200 out of them a piece. One's got a metal roof, and the other's got shingles on it. We also, like I say, we are working on the pickets for the Aviary Park and frames for Spiller.
And the money that you would get from these jobs would go straight back into the program, of course, right?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Got to mention that.
Yes.
So
we don't make a whole lot on them, but we anything we do make, we'll put right back in the program.
Because every little bit helps, and they can always.
Yeah, like I try to when we do all the electrical. Wiring is so expensive right now. I save all the wire we take off and we recycle it and put that money back into the program.
Yeah, and every little bit helps. And people can always donate to the Wythe County Technology Center building program if they wish to contribute, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, it's been nice talking to you. Thank you so much for doing that for me. And
no problem.
If you guys make it to nationals, be sure and let me know.
I will. I'll do it.
All right. Take care of yourself. It's nice talking to you.
All right. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you. Bye-bye.